They direct traffic on highways choked with panic. They hold back surging crowds at riots or raging infernos. They secure multi-million-dollar fire scenes from looters in the chaos. And they have the word police emblazoned in bold letters across their backs. But they aren't cops. They're not guards. They aren't even paid. They're fire police. Volunteer firefighters, granted surprising state power to do one critical job: control everything outside the burning building, the wrecked car, the disaster zone. You've probably seen their flashing red lights or reflective vests. You've definitely never understood them. They are America's best-kept secret in public safety, operating in plain sight. Who are they? Forget the imposing title for a second. Strip away the reflective vest. At their absolute core, fire police are state-blessed, optics-friendly scene security. They exist for a brutal, practical reason. Firefighters fight fires. They cannot be spared to hold back looky-loos, manage gridlocked intersections, or stand guard over smoldering ruins. And calling sworn police for every fender bender, every kitchen fire, every parade, it's expensive in overtime. It's slow when seconds count. It pulls limited resources. So 13 states, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Connecticut, Maine, and others, created a legal workaround. They deputize volunteer firefighters, swear them in before a judge, mayor, or magistrate, and bestow upon them specific limited police powers, unpaid, unheralded, often unrecognized, yet utterly essential to the machinery of emergency response. What do they actually do? Point by point, it's exactly what a private security guard hired for scene control would be contracted to do. Traffic management is paramount. Shutting down lanes, setting complex detours, running one-way shunts to keep vehicles flowing past an accident. Crowd control is constant, keeping curious spectators, aggressive media, and distraught families from interfering with operations or wandering into danger. Scene security is critical, protecting expensive fire trucks and delicate equipment from damage or theft, and safeguarding property within the perimeter from looters in the aftermath. They lock down hot zones. They act as vital liaisons between the chaos and the command post. They are the ultimate bodies on scene force multiplier. But crucially, they wear fire police, not security. That word choice is deliberate and powerful. It carries instant public trust, a sheen of unquestioned officialdom, inherited entirely from the respected fire service they represent. It's core security work, expertly rebranded and wrapped in a fire department's hard-earned credibility. But what legal power do they actually wield? This is where the fascinating and frankly messy reality emerges. Their authority isn't national. It's a fragmented patchwork entirely dependent on which state or sometimes even which county they're standing in. Crossing a border can radically change what they can legally do. In New York State, they are formally certified peace officers under Article 2.10 of the Criminal Procedure Law. This is significant. They can legally detain individuals. They possess specific defined arrest powers for offenses like obstructing emergency services or trespassing on a fire scene. Assaulting them carries the same felony weight as assaulting a sheriff's deputy. But here's the nuance. They generally cannot carry firearms without obtaining additional, difficult-to-get law enforcement licensing. Their power is real, state-sanctioned, and meticulously documented, but deliberately constrained. Cross into Pennsylvania. There, under the specific provisions of Title 35, they are designated Special Fire Police Officers. Their mandate: direct traffic, control crowds, secure scenes. Disobeying their lawful orders carries the same legal consequences as disobeying a sworn officer. Assaulting them is absolutely a felony, but critically, they have no inherent power of arrest. They can physically detain someone, reasonably, for officer safety or until real police arrive, but they cannot formally arrest or charge. And the law is crystal clear. It explicitly does not grant them the right to carry firearms, period. Their weapon is their authority vest and the law backing them. Now look at Connecticut. Here the fire police concept takes a different turn. Their authority flows directly and solely from the fire chief on scene. They are not state-designated peace officers. Their power is tightly limited to fire drills, emergencies strictly within their fire district, and mutual aid calls. They're essentially highly trained, state-certified traffic flaggers who happen to wear badges marked fire police. A mayor might, on rare occasion, grant them special constable status, but it's the exception, not the rule. Their commands derive from the fire service chain, not the penal code. Head north to Maine. Since 2005, they primarily function under statute as public safety traffic flaggers. They can redirect traffic under state law, a vital but limited function. Crucially, they cannot legally close a road. Only a sworn police officer holds that power. They have no inherent peace officer powers, though a desperate town might very rarely swear them in as special police with an extremely narrow scope defined locally. Their tool is persuasion in the vest, not the handcuff. One title, Fire Police. 13. Wildly different realities of power. Why do they exist? It boils down to cold math and undeniable necessity. Firefighters are tied to the core emergency, inside the building, on the hose line. Police are expensive, overtime adds up fast, and often stretched critically thin across a municipality. Cities and towns desperately needed a force multiplier for the periphery, a resource that was fast, free, and focused solely on controlling the surrounding chaos. Fire police are that ingenious, budget-conscious solution, a municipal life hack born of financial constraints and raw operational need. And this need isn't just an American oddity, it echoes globally, though answered differently. Look, Brazil embeds its fire police directly within its military structure, the Corpo de Bomberos Militar, soldiers doing dual roles. Vietnam centralizes it as the Fire and Rescue Police Department, FRPD, a national branch under its powerful Ministry of Public Security. Nazi Germany infamously had the Feuerschutzpolizei, literally fire protection police, a nationalized force blending fire and order. Even ancient Rome understood the need. The vigiles patrolled the streets as both firefighters and the city's night watch. The fundamental requirement for this hybrid role, controlling the periphery while the core emergency is tackled, resonates through history and across borders. But in the uniquely American context of volunteer fire services and local control, it manifests through these quietly deputized citizens. So why has no one heard of them? Why are they such a persistent secret? They hide masterfully in plain sight. You see the vest, the badge, the familiar red lights atop a pickup truck, and your brain categorizes them. Just part of the fire department. Their specific legal authority isn't advertised. It's buried deep within rarely read, dense state codes. Pennsylvania's labyrinthine Title 35, New York's Criminal Procedure Law Article 2.10, Maine's Revised Statutes Title 29-A, Chapter 2091. There's no national standard, no PR campaign, no celebrity spokesperson. They operate effectively in the shadows cast by the very flashing lights they deploy. New Zealand actually provides a stark lesson. They had fire police with genuine constable powers and abolished them entirely in 2017. Why? Precisely because nobody, the public, even other agencies, fully understood what they were or why they needed separate police powers when existing firefighter authority seemed sufficient for scene management. Their defining feature isn't their vest, it's their profound obscurity. Let's cut through the reflective tape and be brutally honest. Strip away the vest. Ignore the deliberately chosen title Fire Police. Look purely at the core function performed: directing traffic, erecting crowd barriers, locking down perimeters, protecting assets and equipment. It's the exact job description of a scene security guard hired by a private contractor. But security guard lacks the immediate instinctive authority. It lacks the automatic public trust. It lacks the vital optics a cash-strapped city or fire district desperately needs when managing a crisis. So states performed a quiet rebrand. They gave this essential grunt work a badge, an official oath, a sprinkle of legal legitimacy under very specific emergency circumstances. They created fire police, not quite cops, not quite firefighters, but absolutely essential, unpaid, and operating as the state's ultimate bureaucratic loophole, security guards with a government stamp of approval. They exist because the system broke under the weight of demands and budgets. And this is the quiet, reflective, vested fix holding the perimeter together, one volunteer at a time. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more guard guides, and be safe.